Do you feel anything in that tub?
Not at the moment. Fuck me. Hello?
Are you pissed that we're in here?
Are you scared?
I heard it on the record. I'm listening with headphones. I heard it. Or even when I was filming the first documentary, everybody I talked to was talking about Camarillo, or the undisclosed location, they would call it. And they would say things like, oh, if you think Linda Vista is haunted, wait till you go to Camarillo. Everybody was talking about Camarillo. And then I heard about this person that had been going for 10 years, had 10 years worth of footage from this one location. And I thought, well, the second documentary, that's pretty much the best thing to do it on, is that location, if that guy's got all that stuff.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
The first time I saw Hotel Camarillo, I was actually blown away. It was very well done. I was really impressed on the historical side of it. People that were pulled from the property interviewed that actually work there or that have been around the property for many, many years. So that was really, it wasn't just intriguing. It was very useful to kind of put this whole story together because, you know, us as investigators go in and we only get that, you know, we get communication with the spirits, but it's important to know how they live when they were, you know, physically alive. And I was blown away. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed the documentary. I love the amount of pictures, still pictures that were presented. I love that there was investigators, not only that were pretty current, but also really well-known, renowned investigators from, you know, they've been doing it 30 or 40 years.
As I've been interviewed many times in the past. My name is Richard Sennett, and I give you permission to use this videotape in any production. So you have my full permission.
We were here wanting to see something. It was her giving us that same feeling of wanting us to see her.
Doing what we do has always been like a really strong passion for me. And I grew up in houses that were always a little extra. There was always a little something extra going on. And some people in my family could perceive it, and others couldn't. So I was really excited because to me, it was like this huge collective amount of work that all of us investigators that were involved in the documentary had done over the course of, you know, a decade plus. And so I was very impressed with the way that you filmed some of the scenes, the way that it was put together, and just the narration from both you and Sabrina. And I thought, everybody that participated in it told their stories really well, and or their experiences that they had really well.
You doing your documentary, it's just amazing. I mean, in watching it, it's still like seeing it for the first time. You watch the documentary and it's like, wow, this is amazing. It's just like, wow, finally somebody came into this location and sat down and did an actual documentary. And just seeing all the footage, seeing how it was almost like for the first time going into the location, just on how serious everybody was, and everybody was just like in awe. And still watching it to this day, you still have that feeling of, wow, um I wish it was like this still. I wish I can go back in time and go back into it, because going out there, over the last 3 years, it's not the same. Things have changed. It's just, you see how bad of shape the location is in now. Um, it's kind of cool and sad at the same time that they're fixing it up for a good purpose, but still the history, they're not giving the history of the location its due diligence, and that's the sad part.
And I wrote an email to the media person at Channel Islands asking about filming there. And they said under no such circumstances do they want to be involved with anything to do with the paranormal. And they don't care what's on YouTube now or what has been on YouTube. They're concerned with trespassing, but they don't care what was online already. And that kind of gave me a little wiggle room with the footage that we had for the 10 years that this person was there. So if they don't care, then we've got most of the documentary already.
Since since it came out on Amazon, and I wasn't quite aware. I mean, I think I remember it being launched or hearing that it was getting launched or whatever, but I was so busy with work. I was working out of state. I was in a huge office building for 12 hours a day, working a lot of, a lot. And so my mind was really on that at the time. It's funny because I came in to my department, and there was a bunch of coworkers standing around one of the guys' computers, and they were all leaning in looking at something, and I'm there to work. So I go to my desk, and they all come over and they're like, "Oh my gosh, last night I bought this documentary, and lo and behold, you're like right there." And they're like, "We did not know you were into all this." And I'm like, "Well, one of the many TV shows, documentaries, whatever. But yes, that's me." And um, it was really funny. But when it launched, to me, it was pretty cool because I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, and just random people. You never know who has that interest in the paranormal. But yeah, I mean, there was like 7 or 8 people that came over to my desk that were really, and he liked it too. So I'm like, "So what'd you think of it?" And so when it got launched, it was pretty exciting.
It's funny. So about 3 weeks ago, a family member of mine got married, and a mutual friend who I haven't seen in probably about 15 years, maybe a little bit longer. Her and I were talking, um, and she said, "Hey, I saw you in this documentary about Camarillo State Hospital, about it being haunted." And she goes, "Was that you?" And I said, "Yeah, that was me." So that was really funny. It was like, but that's pretty much like it. I haven't really, like honestly, like my involvement with investigations, just going out and doing investigations, has been really it's slowed down a lot. And mostly what I have been doing on that level is helping people sort of pinpoint exactly what it is that's going on in their homes, and making suggestions, but on a really small scale, nothing like major. So my paranormal investigation days have slowed down quite a bit from like what it used to be. We were going out and doing investigations like pretty much every weekend, whether it was going to Cam State or the Queen Mary, or some of the other locations that we were going to here in Southern California. And so, but as far as like it changing my life or like seeing the impact, I think that what has come from being a part of this documentary is the friendships that I have gained with both you and Sabrina. I have to say that if anything, major came from it, was that I can call you two my friends, because I didn't know you guys before we did this. So the people who introduced, the person who introduced us, like that, to me, that's the most positive and amazing thing and impactful thing that's happened to me because of the documentary.
I agree.
Several times the documentary was in danger of being shut down from internal forces and external forces. A lot of people started to claim haunted places as their turf or something. This one main person was saying that we were there one day filming, and security has called me, and who the hell is filming? Why would security call you, man? Anyway, we had that going on. We had internal things with the person that had all the footage, and the girlfriend wanting to quit the documentary every day for drama reasons, and making him quit. And there was one point where they said, okay, we're going to close down this documentary. We're not going to decide we're not going to film it anymore. And I'm saying, who the fuck are you? This is my documentary. I'll close it down if it needs to be closed down, but I'm not closing it down. If you don't want your boyfriend to be the focus of this documentary, I'll find someone else. And there was other persons that were there for 5 or 6 years, and they had footage, so I started concentrating on them. And eventually, this person decided to come back to Hotel Camarillo, and we finished the documentary.
And because of what happened to her, she can never leave. It's in her consciousness. It's still a
We had a very successful
She's still committed there.
premiere, and little did I know things were already going south behind the scenes. And a good 4 or 5 people from Hotel Camarillo decided they were going to break off and do their own remake of Hotel Camarillo the right way. So they just went on podcasts and everything else claiming that they're going to be, redoing this documentary. And the person that was no longer in it is suddenly the head of the documentary and wanted to be in it in the first place. It's been 10 years and they still haven't delivered their remake of Hotel Camarillo.
within the last 10 years, um, it got a little crazy. So 10 years ago probably was the height of when I started really getting too close. Um, they say if you get too close to the veil, things happen, and things started happening not only in my life, but the circle of really good friends, investigators, people that I did conferences with. Everybody started getting affected with bad marriages, assaults. Um, some really good friends of mine. It was a murder suicide. There was just a lot of very dark energy going around at that time. Couples that wouldn't fight were fighting. Couples that wouldn't cheat on each other were doing that. Friends or people I know that wouldn't normally hit a woman started doing that. I mean, it was scary. It was a really dark time, and it was starting to, I mean, weird stuff was happening before that, but I would say right around the 10-year mark is when it got bad, and I started slowly backing off. That's pretty much why I completely moved to Salt Lake, just for a fresh start. I didn't want to bring it into this house. But things were happening regardless. Not really. Well, I had a few things in this house, but I think it was just, things moving through. Anyway, but you get involved, and I haven't said this for a long time because I haven't talked to young investigators. They're certainly everywhere now, but you have to be careful. You want this contact, this communication, you want to know more, and it can literally drive you over the edge if you let it. So you have to be very, very careful with that. I couldn't turn it off. Sometimes I still can't.
I've been doing this a really long time. And for me, there's never been any doubt that there is preservation of life after physical death. I mean, I have seen so many things, and have had visitations from past relatives, and also strangers, people that I don't know, and made connections for them with family members. And so still doing that work, but on a smaller scale. I think that because there's been so much attention from all of the paranormal shows that you see on TV, that there can be some really strong misconceptions about what the work that some of us do really is. Navigating through that over the last couple of decades has been difficult, and that's, I think, is what's changed, as well as some of my personal and professional relationships with some of the other people involved in paranormal investigating.
But dude, I'm glad that you're doing something on the documentary. I know it's been 10 years, which seems like freaking, I know it kind of seems actually longer. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like with everything that's been going on. And I think with, what happened, a few years ago with COVID and all the bullshit, I just think it's isolated a lot of people, and just things have changed. I mean, with everything, Like, the paranormal over the last, 15 years has changed. And even over the last 10 years, it's gone to shit. I just think that the whole thing with the paranormal, everybody has all the serious investigators have kind of disappeared, and all these wannabe investigators come in, and all they want to do is they're in it for the scares. That's what it seems like. They're in it to, like, for thrill seeking, and just, they say they're ghost hunting or they're doing investigations, but actually they're just running around screaming, shooting footage of, just trying to be scared and just trying to sell people on their bullshit. And it's sad. It's really sad, because there's still some people out there that are really into the paranormal, and they're trying to show the truth in the paranormal and still try to capture good evidence and speak the truth. But a lot of people don't want to hear that. They just want to hear, they're in it now just for the scare factors. And it's kind of sad.
I think we did good.
Yeah.
Let me turn off the recording so we can talk shit.
I was just gonna say.
Let's see.